So, I want to show you something. This ain't no joke. What you're seeing now is legit for real. This is my Immortal Excalibur Umbra. If you want to see how it's done, stay tuned. What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video. We're talking about Excalibur Umbra, not an Umbra fight Excalibur, but the Excal Umbra himself. So Excalibur Umbra, I said Umbra a lot, is a slightly beefier version of the normal Excalibur and pretty much the same stats as Excalibur Prime, but I would still kill for the Excalibur Prime. Those lucky bums who were around those days, damn, I wish I was around those days. But I was busy with Aeon. You get Excal Umbra upon completing the sacrifice quest. It's pretty easy and straightforward, and he's literally given to you for free. Like, no joke. No need to farm parts or wait 3 days, just boom, he's yours. I've seen several endgame Excal videos, and they weren't really endgame per se. You could take them into sorties, but still would get wrecked, in certain situations. You'd have to spam your 2 just to CC enemies and to give you that little extra survivability from enemies not attacking you because they were blinded. And some would just build it as a strong DPS and camp a spot and use his 4 through a wall. That isn't endgame, my friend. I made this build for those who want to run Excal in long endurance runs without camping and hiding while using your Exalted Blade through a wall. A build that allows you to face tank enemies and kill them. The only weakness this build has are nullifiers and basically anything that denies you the ability to use your Exalted Blade. But in any case, that's where a good melee weapon comes into play. Excalibur is seen as the best option to pick for a starter frame, but in my honest opinion, with the introduction of Umbra, you should 100% go for Volt as your starter frame. He's just better. He's a better option. And with the utilities he provides, it gives you a better chance to get into some of the endgame content like Eidolons and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. And if you carry on with your quests, you get a free Excal Umbra, which is way better. Since we have the opportunity to get Excal Umbra at a very early stage in the game, I think they need to change up the starter frames. Like, Mag isn't really a good choice. Don't get me wrong, I love Mag. I really love Mag, but she is complicated for newer players. Maybe spice it up a bit, have a DPS, support, and a tank as our starter frames. For example, a Rhino, Trinity, and Vault would be so perfect as your starter frames. All 3 are needed in late game group content, which will help the new players. It will help them get involved with other players and build up their arsenal. Anyway, I digress. Let's continue with our big boy ninja. Excal Umbra's abilities are pretty much almost identical to his normal and prime variant. A few differences here and there, but they pretty much work the same. So his first ability, Slash and Dash, lunges you towards an enemy and cuts them in the gut. Yeah. And you're also invulnerable during the dash animation, which is great for engaging and disengaging a fight. His second ability is just an amazing CC tool, blinding and staggering his foes and leaving them vulnerable to finishers. His 3, Radial Javelin, I never really ever used this ability. He stabs the ground and damages enemies and impales them. Wow. His 4, I do not regret this, Dragon Blade. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean his Exalted Blade, where he summons an ethereal sword that cuts through enemies. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Alright, getting into the build portion of this video. Here we have our Immortal build. Adaptation is just perfect for this. It's there to keep us from those nasty status effects. And the 2 Arcanes boosts his defenses even further, milking his tankiness. You could swap Prime Continuity and Transient Fortitude for Flow and Augur Secrets if you need the extra energy pool. Example, for energy reduction sorties or places that give you problems with energy. And our power is at 236%. Try to be at the 200% mark or higher, but nothing lower. And of course, the bread and butter of any Excal build is the Augment Chromatic Blade. This changes our Exalted Blade into a pure status elemental weapon, which will be determined by our energy color and the mods that we use on our Exalted Blade. And our basic build. I just got rid of adaptation and added streamline. Yep. And also, if you want, you could swap out streamline for flow. The energy color I'm using is this pinkish one, which translates to fire, since it's part of the red family. Onto our Exalted Blade. Our combo elements will be corrosive and heat, which will be amplified with condition overload. You're thinking, why not use a life strike? Because then I would have to channel constantly, and even with Hunter Adrenaline on, I won't be able to sustain my HP and energy altogether, unless you put flow and replace continuity. And whoever said life strike is better and healing return is trash, well, as you can see the results. Using my build, it does the job. And plus, with Melee 3.0 on its way, all channeling mods are just going to be massively reworked, so who knows how they'll be in the future. And since this is a status weapon, you can swap out Sacrificial Steel with another attack speed mod. And finally, onto Butt Stallion, aka the Smida Kavat. Why the Kavat? Because it also helps us with healing, and amazing for armor stripping. There are tons of Excal Umbra builds out there. This is my version, and some of you might not like it, but for those who want to give it a try, go right ahead. Because this works for me, it's strong, it takes you places, and who knows, you might like it as well. Alright folks, this has been it from me. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace.